Doing what's right sometimes requires patience, and then you might see what the life of the good man is like. Someone content with what nature assigns him and satisfied with being just and kind himself. Remember how long you've been putting this off, how many extensions the gods gave you, and you didn't use them. At some point, you have to recognize what the world it is that you belong to, what power rules it, and from what source you spring, that there is a limit to the time assigned you, and if you don't use it to free yourself, it will be gone and will never return. Do external things distract you? Then make time for yourself to learn something worthwhile. Stop letting yourself be pulled in all directions, but make sure you guard against the other kind of confusion. People who labor all their lives but have no purpose to direct every thought and impulse toward are wasting their time, even when they hard at work. Human life, nature changeable, perception dim, condition of body decaying, soul spinning around, fortune unpredictable, lasting fame uncertain. Sum up: the body and its parts are a river, the soul a dream and mist. Life is warfare and the journey far from home. Lasting reputation is oblivion. If all the rest is common coin, then what is unique to the good man? To welcome with affection what is sent by fate, not to stain or disturb the spirit within him with a mess of false beliefs, instead to preserve it faithfully by calmly obeying God, saying nothing untrue, doing nothing unjust. People try to get away from it all, to the country, to the beach, to the mountains. You always wish you could too, which is idiotic. Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul. So keep getting away from it all like that. Renew yourself, but keep it brief and basic. Above all, no strain and no stress. Be straightforward. Look at things like a man, like a human being, like a citizen, like a mortal. And among the things you turn to, these two, that things have no hold on the soul. They stand there unmoving outside it. The world is nothing but change. Our life is only perception. The earth that composed me derives from earth, the water from some other element, the air from its own source, the heat and fire from theirs. Since nothing comes from nothing or returns to it, so thought must derive from somewhere else as well. Now they see you as a beast, a monkey, but in a week they'll think you are a god if you rediscover your beliefs and honor the logos. Accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. If you seek tranquility, do less. Or more accurately, do what's essential. To do less, better. because most of what we say and do is not essential. If you can eliminate it, you will have more time and more tranquility. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? Practice the virtues you can show: honesty, gravity, endurance, austerity, resignation, abstinence, patience, sincerity, moderation, seriousness, high-mindedness. Don't you see how much you have to offer? Beyond excuses like can't, and yet you still settle for less. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes, to obstacle to our acting. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. But if you accept the obstacle and work with what you're given, an alternative will present itself, another piece of what you're trying to assemble, action by action. The cucumber is bitter, then throw it out. There are brambles in the path, then go around them. That's all you need to know, nothing more. Don't demand to know why such things exist. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Take the shortest route, the one that nature planned, to speak and act in the healthiest way. Do that and be free of pain and stress, free of all calculations and pretensions. Nothing happens to anyone that he can't endure. The same thing happens to other people, and they weather it unharmed. Concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distractions. Yes, you can. It could be wrong for anything to stand between you and attaining goodness. As a rational being and citizen, anything at all, the applause of the crowd, high office, wealth, or self-indulgence, all of them might seem to be compatible with it for a while, but suddenly they control us and sweep us away. So make your choice straightforwardly, once and for all, and stick to it. Choose what's best. Your ability to control your thoughts, treat it with respect. It's all that protects your mind from false perceptions, false to your nature and that of all rational beings. It's what makes thoughtfulness possible, and affection for other people, and submission to the divine. What is it? This thing that now forces itself on my notice. What is it made of? How long was it designed to last? And what qualities do I need to bring to bear on it? Tranquility, courage, honesty, trustworthiness, straightforwardness, independence, or what? Love the discipline you know and let it support you. And trust everything willingly to the gods, and then make your way through life. No one's master and no one's slave. Look into their minds and what the wise do, and what they don't. Nothing that goes on in anyone else's mind can harm you, nor can the shifts and changes in the world around you. Then where is harm to be found? In your capacity to see it. Stop doing that and everything will be fine. Or to put it another way, it needs to realize that what happens to everyone, bad and good alike, is neither good nor bad. That what happens in every life, lived naturally or not, is neither natural nor unnatural. Either pain affects the body, which is the body's problem, or it affects the soul. But the soul can choose not to be affected, preserving its own serenity, its own tranquility. All our decisions, urges, desires, aversions lie within. No evil can touch them. It's unfortunate that this has happened. No, it's fortunate that this has happened, and I've remained unharmed by it, not shattered by the present or frightened of the future. It could have happened to anyone, but not everyone could have remained unharmed by it. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? The things I was brought into the world to do. Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm? But it's nice here, so you were born to feel nice instead of doing things and experiencing them. Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants, and spiders and bees going about their individual task, putting the world in order as best they can, and you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands? Honor and revere the gods. Treat human beings as they deserve. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Remember, nothing belongs to you but your flesh and blood, and nothing else is under your control. Even if you're going to live 3,000 more years or 10 times that, remember, you cannot lose another life than the one you're living now, or live another one than the one you're losing. The longest amounts to the same as the shortest. The present is the same for everyone. Its loss is the same for everyone, and it should be clear that a brief instant is all that is lost. For you can't lose either the past or the future. How could you lose what you don't have? Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reasons which today arm you against the present. Not to be overwhelmed by what you imagine, but just to do what you can and should. I was once a fortunate man, but at some point, fortune abandoned me. But true good fortune is what you make for yourself. Good fortune, good character, good intentions, and good actions. Nature is pliable, obedient, and the logos that governs it has no reason to do evil. It knows no evil, does none, and causes harm to nothing. It dictates all beginnings and all endings. Just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. Cold or warm, tired or well rested, despised or honored, dying or busy with other assignments. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. In your actions, don't procrastinate. In your conversations, don't confuse. In your thoughts, don't wander. In your soul, don't be passive or aggressive. In your life, don't be all about business. If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective. I will gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. The elements move upward, downward, in all directions. The motion of virtue is different, deeper. It moves at a steady pace on a road hard to discern, and always forward. Not to assume it's impossible because you find it hard, but recognize that if it's humanly possible, you can do it too. I do what is mine to do, the rest does not disturb me. The rest is inanimate or has no logos, or it wanders at random and has lost the road. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. What harms us is to persist in self-deceit and ignorance. Alexander the Great and his mule driver both died, and the same thing happened to both. They were absorbed alike into the life force of the world, or dissolved alike into atoms. Remember, your responsibilities can be broken down into individual parts as well. Concentrate on those and finish the job methodically without getting stirred up or meeting anger with anger. How cruel to forbid people to want what they think is good for them, and yet that's just what you won't let them do. When you get angry at their misbehavior, they drawn toward what they think is good for them, but it's not good for them. Then show them that. Prove it to them instead of losing your temper. Things that happen to the body are meaningless. It cannot discriminate among them. Nothing has meaning to my mind except its own actions, which are within its own control. It's normal to feel pain in your hands and feet. If you are using your feet as feet and your hands as hands, and for a human being to feel stress is normal if he's living a normal life. And if it's normal, how can it be bad? But the man motivated by desire, who is mastered by pleasure, seems somehow more self-indulgent, less manly in his sins. Making sure that the power within stays safe and free from assault, superior to pleasure and pain, doing nothing randomly or dishonestly and with imposture, not depend on anyone else's doing something or not doing it. If it doesn't hurt the individual elements to change continually into one another, Why are people afraid of all of them changing and separating? It's a natural thing, and nothing natural is evil. Not just that every day more of our life is used up and less of it's left, but this too. If we live longer, can we sure our mind will still be up to understanding the world, to the contemplation that aims at divine and human knowledge. A person undefiled by pleasures, invulnerable to any pain, untouched by arrogance, unaffected by meanness, an athlete in the greatest of all contests, the struggle not to be overwhelmed by anything that happens. He does only what is his to do and considers constantly what the world has in store for him, doing his best and trusting that all is for the best, for we carry our faith with us and it carries us. It would be wrong for anything to stand between you and attaining goodness, anything at all. The applause of a crowd, high office, wealth, or self-indulgence, all of them might seem to be compatible with it for a while, but suddenly they control us and sweep us away. So make your choice straightforwardly, once and for all, and stick to it. Choose what's best. Never regard something as doing you good. If it makes you betray a trust or lose your sense of shame or make you show hatred, suspicion, ill will, or hypocrisy, or a desire for things best done behind closed doors. Your ability to control your thoughts, treat it with respect. It's all that protects your mind from false perceptions, false to your nature, and that of all rational beings, It's what makes thoughtfulness possible, and affection for other people, and submission to the divine. Forget everything else. Keep hold of this alone and remember it. Each of us lives only now, this brief instant. The rest has been lived already or is impossible to see. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. To experience sensations, even grazing beasts do that. To let your desire control you, even wild animals do that. And rotting humans and tyrants. To make your mind your guide to what seems best, even people who deny the gods do that. Then what is unique to a good man? You're better off not giving the small things more time than they deserve. Whatever happens to you is for the good of the world. That would be enough right there. But if you look closely, you'll generally notice something else as well. Whatever happens to a single person is for the good of others. Everywhere at each moment, you have the option to accept this event with humility, to treat this person as he should be treated, to approach this thought with care so that nothing irrational creeps in. It's silly to try to escape other people's faults. They are inescapable. Just try to escape your own. External things are not the problem. It's your assessment of them, which you can erase right now. While if you pursue pleasure, you can hardly avoid wrongdoing, which is manifestly blasphemous. Some things nature is indifferent to. If it privileged one over the other, it would hardly have created both. And if we want to follow nature, to be of one mind with it, we need to share its indifference. To privilege pleasure over pain, life over death, fame over anonymity is clearly blasphemous. Nature certainly doesn't. Either the gods have power or they don't. If they don't, why pray? If they do, then why not pray for something else instead of for things to happen or not to happen? Pray not to feel fear or desire or grief. If the gods can do anything, they can surely do that for us. But those are things the gods left up to me. Nature gives and nature takes away. Anyone with sense and humility will tell her, give and take as you please, not out of defiance, but out of obedience and goodwill. Then what should we work for? Only this: power, understanding. Then what should we work for? Only this: proper understanding, unselfish action, truthful speech, a resolve to accept whatever happens as necessary and familiar, following like water from the same source and spring. Take the shortest route, the one that nature planned, to speak and act in the healthiest way. Do that and be free of pain and stress, free of all calculations and pretensions. When you need encouragement, think of the qualities the people around you have. This one's energy, that one's modesty, another's generosity, and so on. Nothing is as encouraging as when virtues are visibly embodied in the people around us. When we're practically showered with them, it's good to keep this in mind. Practice really hearing what people say. Do your best to get inside their mind. No matter what happens, keep this in mind. It's the same old thing, from one end of the world to the other. It fills the history books, ancient and modern, and the cities, and the houses too. Nothing new at all. Focus on what is said when you speak and on what results from each action. Know what the one aims at and what the other means. Is my intellect up to this? If so, then I'll put it to work, like a tool provided by nature. Straight, not straightened. No matter what anyone says or does, my task is to be good, like gold or emerald, or purple repeating to itself. No matter what anyone says or does, my task is to be emerald, my color undiminished. Let it happen if it wants, to whatever it can happen to, and what's affected can complain about it if it wants. It doesn't hurt me unless I interpret it's happening as harmful to me. I can choose not to. Everything is interwoven, and the web is holy. None of its parts are unconnected. They are composed harmoniously, and together they compose the world. Well-being is good luck or good character. And why should we feel anger at the world, as if the world would notice? Frightened of change? But what can exist without it? What's closer to nature's heart? Can you take a hot bath and leave the firewood as it was? Eat food without transforming it? Can any vital process take place without something being changed? Can't you see? It's just the same with you and just as vital to nature. Alexander and Caesar and Pompey compared with Diogenes, Heraclitus, Socrates. The philosophers knew the what, the why, the how. Their minds were their own. The others, nothing but anxiety and enslavement. The action is yours based on your own will, your own decision, and your own mind. If it's in your control, why do you do it? If it's in someone else's control, then who are you blaming? Atoms, the gods, stupid either way. Blame no one. Set people straight if you can. If not, just repair the damage. 3 relationships. With the body you inhabit, with the divine, the cause of everything in all things, with the people around you. You have to assemble your life yourself, action by action, and be satisfied if each one achieves its goal. As far as it can, no one can keep that from happening, but there are external obstacles. But if you accept the obstacles and work with what you're given, the alternative will present itself. Another piece of what you're trying to assemble, action by action. The world's cycles never change, up and down, from age to age. Live a good life. If there are gods and they are just, then they will not care how devout you have been, but will welcome you based on the virtues you have lived by. If there are gods but unjust, then you should not want to worship them. If there are no gods, then you will be gone, but will have lived a noble life that will live on in the memories of your loved ones. Alright guys, if you got some value out of the video, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.